Hey guys, Sam here from Webkin Temple, and we are going to talk a little bit about themes. So, I've been working with WordPress themes for probably about 10 years now. I'd say dating all the way back to 2007 when premium themes were first becoming a thing. That's before Studio Press was Studio Press. It used to just be Revolution theme. It was just one theme. There was only a couple other ones on the market that were big, like WP Remix was one. I can't even think of a lot of other ones. Anyway, over the years, they've evolved quite a bit. Themes are a lot different than they used to be now, and there's so many more options out there. We've had a lot that we've worked with over the years. Clients will have certain themes they want us to use to build their site with, so we get exposed to a lot of different types of themes, a lot of different ones from Theme Forest. I've worked with a lot of the different themes from Elegant Themes over the years. I've been a member of Elegant Themes since it first came out, and actually I wasn't a fan of Divi for a long time. I used it to build a resume site for myself about 5 years ago, and I think that was before it was even Divi. I think it was just like a landing page builder kind of thing that they had. So I definitely had some early exposure to it, but over the last couple years I've really been using a lot of the bigger themes for our projects here, like Enfold, Aveda, Bridge, some of those really popular Theme Forest themes. Those are all great themes, and I really got to like using Visual Composer a lot. That was another thing I kind of didn't like right away when it first came out, because we always do a lot of work with custom fields and custom post types and stuff like that in WordPress, and I always kind of thought that was the way things should be done rather than using a visual editor. But what I realized over the past couple years is that I was totally wrong, and Visual Composer has gotten huge in popularity. And over the summer, this last summer of 2017 here, I got introduced to the Divi theme, and I just fell in love with it. So I already knew about the theme for quite a while, and a lot of the people that work with me also are familiar with it. We first got a project for a gal who wanted to convert a PSD into Divi, so that was my first real exposure to it heavily in a while. And shortly after that, I had another guy here who built a site for me using Divi theme, and then I did some maintenance on it, and that's when I really got to dig in and start using the visual editor, which after I used it for a while, I realized, wow, this is actually a really great visual editor, and compared to Visual Composer, it's just almost better in every way. It took kind of a while to come to that conclusion. Even in some of my initial videos on this channel where I built sites with Divi, I pointed out some of the issues I had with the builder in comparison to Visual Composer. Well, actually, most of those issues were addressed, or either I was just ignorant. So at this point, after a few months of using Divi, we pretty much use it as our main platform to do just about everything here. We do a lot of our PSD to WordPress conversions. We'll use a Divi backend for that. And basically any site we build, we're going to be using Divi. So what I want to show you today is about 8 different theme examples of Divi sites. Now, this is great if you want to get some inspiration, or if you're just looking to see what Divi is capable of. So I selected some different sites that we built over the last couple months to show you, and these are a combination of sites that we've designed from scratch, sites that we've built from several different Divi child themes, and then a couple of landing pages, which is also a really important thing to note, and then also a surprise one at the end too. So stay tuned. We're going to walk through these examples, and hopefully you'll get inspired. Alright, thanks for sticking with me. Okay, so we're going to dive right in and start looking at some of these. Now, the first couple are ones we just did from scratch. So let's go through those and kind of take a look. Now, this is one of my favorite sites we've done all year. I really like the way this one came out. It's Mill City Metalworks. They're a local company here in Minnesota that does like welding and stuff. And we designed this one on behalf of another company, Blind Spot Advisors. And this one was just a great project to work on, and we're really happy with the way it came out. So this is using Divi Theme with a custom design. We made this little custom logo here, and you can see the sizing is perfect for this kind of menu. And then it's also really nice to use as kind of an emblem throughout the site, as you'll see. And we also incorporated some of the angled backgrounds. And this one's really cool because it's angled and has the video background, which is super cool. And then it defaults back to a photo background on mobile or devices that don't support video. So the thing about this site is they had very little content. They didn't have an existing site. All they really had was like an Instagram page and just like a few paragraphs of content that we got from them. So we didn't have a lot to work with. So this one we really tried to emphasize kind of a cool design and use that to take up some more of the space. So you can see we just kind of we added a couple of their different services here, added some nice stock photos with a little extra effect, and then again we took advantage of using these cool angles to kind of create a really interesting experience. We used their logo throughout for as an emblem, and then you know, even change some headings to make larger heading sizes, take up more space, because as you can see this is only like a couple sentences of actual text. Here we've got a video from Instagram that shows some welding stuff there, and then down here we again use these emblems along with this text and the larger headlines, and then just a couple of sentences of description text, and then we pulled some of their photos of relevant photos from Instagram and used them in there. And then you'll see down here we actually used a plugin, an Instagram plugin from Code Canyon. So this is a paid plugin, but it actually creates a pretty cool gallery. Originally we had thought we were gonna just create some kind of Divi gallery solution and then link to their Instagram page or something like that, but realized this Instagram gallery worked perfect because then they could just post all their stuff in one place and it would get pulled right in here automatically, so they'll never have to update it, and it looks fantastic. So super cool, and it encourages some more social interaction as well. And then down here to the footer, you see again we carry through the emblem to the bottom. We've got the really cool lines with the gradient background. These are all options within Divi. We did have to do some custom CSS to get these lines, but this type of radial gradient is available in Divi, just within the background settings. And then at the very bottom we got the full width map, also a Divi module. So super cool. This is all just a one-page Divi deal, and really happy with this one. I'm gonna move over to this one. This is for a pain prevention place, practice or whatnot, and this one it's more of kind of a standard site, and they had a ton of pages and a ton of content. So what I try to do is we did the design from scratch, and we just tried to take this blue and green color scheme and really carry that through the site. So we see we added some cool effects on the menu here. The client really wanted these title case letters, which actually I don't think are that great, but you know, it could be worse. But as you can see, we opened with a nice hero. Let me reload the page. So we got the preloader there. So we opened with a nice hero with the Ken Burns effect. We got a little style on the text. Then down here we got the cool gradient background with some rotating slogans or whatnot, whatever you want to call them. Then here we've got, this is with the tilt blurred module, I believe, or this is with some Divi special module. We made these things. Really like the way these turned out, and these all link into interior pages, as is that. Then down here we've got the team section. As you can see, this part we built from scratch, and we kind of used some shadow effects to give you a cool hover effect and kind of a 3D effect there as well. And just like on the other site, we carried the logo through and used it as kind of an emblem down here. And a funny thing with this one, another video I talked about Divi logos, and this is one of those cases where the logo on their original site was just not going to be usable at all for this. So what I did is I went to iStock Photo and I found this icon, then I changed the colors on it and then turned it into this logo. So we actually ended up with a really nice logo, except for I'm not crazy about the title case, but other than that I think it looks great, and I really like the way that the colors combine. Down here we got a nice testimonial section with the background parallax. And we put a little background overlay over it so you can read the text better. That's all done within Divi background modules. And here we've got problem areas. This is done with the tilt blur module. You see they have this nice interactive effect when you mouse over them, so that's kind of cool. Unfortunately, these don't actually link to anything yet because there's not pages for them, but I'm hoping that at some point they will. If nothing else, it at least looks cool. And this is actually all from a stock photo. These were all part of a single stock photo, and I sliced each one of these out of there and made it into its own picture. Then we created these cool tiles with it, so I think that worked out really well. And we've got just a basic information section. Again, we got a cool kind of hover effect here with the background shadow. Then we got another parallax call to action section with the nice gradient background over a parallax image. Here we've got a frequently asked questions. This is from a Divi module that we kind of added some styling on to match the color scheme. This is all again done in the Divi editor, so super easy to do that. And then we got the footer here with the contact info and a map and some social icons and so forth. So that's pretty much the story behind this one. I think this one turned out really nice. I would like to do a little more work on some of the interior pages to kind of round them off and make them look as good as the front page does. But overall, I think a lot of people probably aren't going to be looking at those anyway, and the front page is great. So really happy with the way this one came out. Really nice use of color and really unique looking. Next one we're going to go to is another pane management client. Now this one I actually did from a Divi Cloud layout. So with Divi Cloud, rather than it being a child theme, it's actually just a layout for this page. So if you have Divi Cloud, you can actually go in there and find this similar layout. I went in here and found some different custom icons to use. I made this, again, they didn't have a logo, so I just kind of made this one up with the same similar icon there, and I think it works out really well. And it's really just a nice, elegant site. We've got all our information displayed nicely. Got some info about the doctor and then the contact information. And then we just got some other basic links to interior pages. So this is a really simple site, but really for like a small business practice, this is like exactly what you want. You get your information out there. Pretty much everything you need to know is on the front page. You got clear call to actions for new patients and existing patients, so people pretty much know exactly where they're supposed to go when they come to the site. And this is a really good example of the kind of stuff you can do with Divi Cloud. You know, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do, and I just kind of started looking through layouts, and they had this sort of medical feel one anyway. So I just kind of took that and totally customized it around. Use this nice font combinations of this is Nunito, and this one I can't remember what this is, but both Google fonts obviously. And yeah, it just came out with a really nice layout that I think works really well for them. So this is really a great example of the type of small business site you can make with the Divi theme. So here we'll go over to this one. This one is for Hackle Tool. This is another one we did with the Divi Cloud layout. So I found a Divi Cloud layout and then just kind of heavily changed it around to fit with what they were doing. And now these guys, this site, this is another one of those where they didn't have a lot of existing content to work with, so we really kind of had to work to stretch the stuff out, and we use these kind of angled sections to make the site look bigger, and you know, you make better use of the space with what limited content we have. So you see we just have a static header there because pretty much the main thing we wanted to do is get this tagline out here, and contact information obviously would be the next most important thing, so we got that in there. Here we got just a brief little history. We used a tilt image module just in case somebody happens to mouse over that or this one. And again, we got the angled lines. That was part of the Divi Cloud layout, and we just supplied our own background photos there. And then we used some, we increased the letter spacing, you'll see on this one a little bit, just to stretch out the text they had a little bit more, make it line up better with the pictures and so forth. Then we just had a really basic gallery in here. This is nothing groundbreaking, but it's just a nice simple gallery to display the couple images they had. And then this nice footer area with the contact info and a button that clicks right to email, and then of course you got the map here at the bottom. So cool thing about this is we could expand this if they say wanted to add more pages for like services or about or something like that. We could easily expand this to a multi-page site just by kind of copying the footer and header and then just replacing the in-between stuff with a kind of a similar layout. So it'd be super easy to build on this site if they ever wanted to. And again, this was a Divi Cloud layout, and I was really happy with the way this one came out for a simple site. I think it looks really clean and elegant, and it definitely, compared to what they had before, it's a huge step up. So this is another cool example of what Divi Cloud can do. Now this one here uses the Avalon theme, and that's a theme from Monterey Premier, a child theme for Divi. And let me go back to the home page here. We'll get to that in a second. So the actual Avalon theme is blue and white. This particular color scheme we had to use, so we were forced to use this brown color scheme, and I think overall I'm not crazy for it, but I think it works. It's just a little bit on the dark side, so if I was gonna do it my way, I probably wouldn't do it quite with this color scheme, but I think it pretty much works. Now the Avalon theme, the way it works is it has all these cool angled sections, but you kind of have to use the same section setup that they have. So basically you're putting your content in to the different sections and making it work, but you can customize the colors and stuff like that, which we did pretty easily, and that came out nice. So it was nice that they had the 3 different shades of brown we could use to kind of mix it up a little bit. So as you see, we got the intro here, then we've got this cool section showing their services. This uses the tilt blur module, and these are all clickable. And you'll see you get kind of the nice 3D effect on the text when you hover over it. So I think that's a really nice. The tilt blur module you get from Elegant Marketplace, and I think it's like, I want to say it's like maybe $25 for the developer license, so you can use it on unlimited sites, or like $10 for the regular license you can use on one site. Let me show you here too. I'm going to reload it so you can get all the animations as well. You'll see there's a lot of animations on all this stuff. Here's the other services. They had additional services that didn't fit with these, so we just kind of did it in these different shades of brown, and I think that came out pretty nicely. Testimonials section, just got some basic testimonials from some past clients. And then here, since they didn't have square pictures, some of these pictures look a little bit smushed, so they are working on getting some newer pictures that we can cut into squares, because if you don't use a square, then these circle backgrounds don't work. So that's the one downfall of those. If you have a rectangle picture, it's going to look squished if you try to put it in here, but they felt this was good enough for the time being, and hopefully they'll be getting some new pictures that we can put in there and make look correct. And then at the bottom here, we've just got this nice contact. This is all came from the Avalon theme, so we just had to change around the information and stuff there. And you'll see that all throughout the site we kind of followed through on the same layout. So you've got your header, you've got these nice angled sections, kind of some cool formatting on some of this stuff. So this one really came out pretty nice. Other than the color scheme, I think I did another site with Avalon that I actually did a tutorial on the YouTube channel for, which I thought looked actually better than this one at first, but then what happened is the client ended up making so many changes to it that now I can't even show it anymore. So it's great that they're able to make their own changes and stuff and edit it how they want, but that one I think went a little bit off the rails in terms of what I had in mind originally. So I'm going to show you this one instead. So that's this one. Here's another one we made from a child theme, and this one is from the Anthem theme from Be Superfly. And this is another one of those sites where they didn't have a ton of information to begin with, and a lot of it was just like pure blocks of text. So we had kind of a challenge getting this one to go through, but we used some stuff like these horizontal rules with the gradient to kind of make the page look a little more interesting. We got a nice background image here. They really wanted to emphasize the employers and employees thing because that's like the main part of their site. We've got the nice interesting parallax, which this actually has a gradient effect. It's really kind of light, but you can see it kind of changes from red to blue. Here we got some interesting icons. I can see somebody else went in here and kind of messed around with these icons, unfortunately, since we were in there, but it's kind of the way it goes with these things. And then this light bulb thing was actually part of the original theme, but I thought it looked pretty cool, so we kept that in there. Here's another call to action section with a cool gradient background. Contact section. It looks like somebody might have messed with this form too. But that wouldn't be that hard to go back in and just style it so it looks a little bit more smooth. And then you'll see that the interior pages, they've also got nice kind of custom formatting on them as well. And you know, nothing too special, but it's kind of a nice way to lay all this stuff out and have it look nice. So this is kind of a good example of a real plain site. Nothing super special to it, but we kind of made it look clean and elegant. Yeah, just kind of a nice overall design. So nothing great, but the Anthem theme is one of those themes where it looked so cool in the demo, and I think it costs like over $100 to buy a developer license to it. So but once I got into it, like a lot of the stuff just didn't seem like it could be, I don't know, I just had a problem getting it to work for other sites, basically. And this one is really, I only used a few elements from the Anthem theme, and the rest of it is basically from scratch. So there's only a couple really sections in here, like some of these gradients and stuff like that are Anthem, and the rest of it's kind of just custom stuff. So anyway, that's that one. I'm going to flip over here. This is my site. I did a tutorial on how you built this one, and the site itself, I really do not like this header. I still need to change that. Otherwise, I mean, it's kind of basic, but it's okay. But the main thing I wanted to show you on this one is the landing page. So this is a landing page, and I just built this from scratch, but I wanted to show it to you because Divi is really powerful for landing pages. So as you can see, it's a really basic page, but we've got all the key elements that a landing page should have. So we've got our headline, you know, some reasons why they should use us. We got to hit some of our key points here in a visually pleasing way. We've got the animated headline thing in here to do the little underline effect, and we can even make it orange to match the button, because those are the colors from our logo. Then if you click that, you come right down here, which is the meat of the page. And I really like doing this, having the contact form here, or the request quote form, whatever, and then over here on the right, just all the frequently asked questions, because that way we can pretty much fit all the important information we need on the page without having a huge long page, because some of these questions might not be relevant to everybody, but these are a lot of the questions that we notice that people are commonly asking. So we basically just get them all right here. It's a super nice format, and people can just look at them as they please. And sometimes they'll think of a question that they didn't even think of yet, and then they won't have to ask me later because they'll already know the answer to it. So compared to I replaced this with a landing page I've been using before, which is also high converting, but this one has been doing really well, and I just love the way it looks. I think it's super clean and nice. Then if you scroll down here, you just see a couple of testimonials, and you're not out of reach of the request a quote. So really happy with the way this one came out, and this is all just done with the Divi editor. These are all just regular modules that are available within the Divi builder. So this was super, except for this is the animated headline module, which you need to add, but you could really do without the underline. It's not a big deal. So that one's I think that one came out great, and I really like it. Here's another landing page. I got this layout from Divi Squeeze, and heavily customized it to make it look how I wanted to, but I really wanted to get the form here, important info here, we got testimonials down here, and then some practice areas and so forth, some information about the attorney, and then another call to action, which goes back up to the form. So again, simple landing page, but this is pretty much exactly what you want out of a landing page. You want to hit your key points, keep it focused, and keep getting people to pointed to what you want them to do, which in this case is fill out this request a quote form. So another example of how you can use Divi to make a really nice landing page without having to do anything too crazy. And this one, even though I used the layout from Divi Squeeze, I ended up redoing a lot of it anyway. So you could just as easily have built this one from scratch. There's nothing that you really even need from Divi Squeeze in there. So that's that. Now, the last one I want to show you is a special layout that my man Kevin, who is one of my favorite programmers that I work with, is working on for me. And basically we did it internally. We're kind of having a contest to so you can come up with the best design for the Web Contempo homepage, and Kevin came up with this theme, which is, I think, is just unbelievable. Now, it's not completed yet, but it's so cool I wanted to show it to you. So the first page is, this is the home page, and it's kind of nondescript. But you'll see here, when you open it, you'll get to the side menu, and it'll scroll down into the subpages. And you see that the color scheme, if you noticed my logo back here, the color scheme is the same colors from my logo. So each section has a corresponding color scheme that matches. And then, as you can see, you can scroll through here. This is a really cool way of displaying the services, kind of a unique way. Down here we've got reviews. So here we've got a section where we can put testimonials and stuff. Again, these are all using my colors. Here we got some places where we can display projects. Again, this is a slider, so it's got a bunch of screenshots and stuff in there. That's pretty cool. And then the contact section's not done yet. But anyway, this is a custom design, and this is all done within one page in the Divi editor. So as part of the contest was it had to be made as an exportable page layout. So basically, you could save this layout to your library, export it, and then import it to another site. And all you'd have to do is make a new page, load it, and you'd have this whole thing in there. So this is a really cool example of how powerful layouts are, and how you can, everything from the header to the menu to all these individual sections are contained within that one page, and all the code for it's in there and everything. So super cool the way this one turned out. With this one, I'm actually going to we're going to finish it up, polish it off, make it look great, even better than it is now, which I think is it's really unique and cool. But we're going to make it even better, and then I think I'm going to be giving this one away as a free layout or child theme or whatever you want to call it. So look for that coming up in the near future. But yeah, so that's the last one I've got, and hopefully that gives you a pretty good idea of the type of flexibility Divi has and what it can do. Alright guys, thanks for sticking with me. So that was just a small sampling of some of the stuff we've done in Divi, and as you can see, I really wanted to just kind of show a variety of different stuff you can do with it and the flexibility, starting with kind of a unique design to then a more plain design, some child themes, and then we had a couple landing pages, and then at the end we had the kind of the conceptual design, which is like totally unique. So you can really run the full gamut, and once you understand how to use it, it's really powerful what you can do with it. So hopefully that was helpful to you, just to get inspired or get some ideas of what's possible. And I definitely encourage you to get out there and play around with it and see what kind of cool stuff you can come up with. Thanks again for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, because you're going to get all kinds of updates when we drop new videos, WordPress tutorials, all different kinds of stuff. So make sure you stay tuned, and we'll see you soon.